Face audio.
Hello.
Oh, yes. I've got the right place.
Yay. Let me see where I'm checking on Mary right now.
Where is she?
Yeah, let me check in with her.
Okay.
How are you doing? Are you feeling any better?
I think I'm on the upswing of the cold, but still pretty congested and stuff. But excuse me. Sorry. So, yes, Mary was going to make it, I know.
Oh, she said she'll be right here. So it's always crazier in the morning, trying to get one more thing.
Yeah, I only got up about a half hour ago, but I went to bed at, oh gosh, what was it? Well, I finished doing the thing about 3:30, and I don't think I was asleep till at least 4:30.
Yeah, that means we didn't have time to really go through it so much. That's okay. At least the point of it really is for you to start getting some clarity, and also some to be able to understand where you don't have clarity. You know, like it's very clear that you're not clear. And anyway.
So, yeah, well, you know, what you put on the thing is to make sure you turn it in at least an hour before the meeting. So I thought that's what you did the hour before.
Yeah, that's usually with the coaching, like the coaching, for our coaching calls that we do. This is a little bit more in depth, but we can kind of go through that as well while we're going in. Let me just go there now into your folder. How are you finding the Google Drive? Is it working for you?
It was fine. Yeah, I was trying to remember how to access it from my phone, and I forgot that there was an app on the phone. That so once I was reminded of that, I I got into it without any problem.
Okay.
And once as soon as I do something on that, write something, then you immediately have access to it, right? Or you can
yes, it's saving as you go, which I really love about the Google Drive. It's really fun when we're doing stuff and on the phone, and then each person is doing something. I'm going through here and I'm highlighting in blue what I think are like the key things that you're saying.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I changed colors a few times, so you're highlighting them.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Hi, Mary.
Hey.
Hey,
Mary.
How are you doing this morning?
I am doing good. The dog had an accident, so it was not a good one. I had to run around and sorry about that.
That's okay. I figured something I'm like, there's always something. The mornings, there's always something crazy going on.
I see a pretty Mary.
Oh, yay! Our first VIP call.
All right.
Okay, so Mary, what David did do his VIP prep form.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did put in there. You're right, David. It does say 1 hour prior. The 1 hour prior is really meant for what do you call it? For the coaching, the weekly coaching, because this one has a lot more information than that one will. So, note to myself to change that.
That actually, it actually did surprise me. I thought you would have said, the night before or something, or 6 or 8 or 10 hours before or something.
Well, you could do it before as long as we get it. Well, I agree. It's a lot. So never mind.
And I wrote quite a bit in there, but I could have written a lot more.
Well, this is so great because I've never actually heard you talk about what type of business you're trying to develop. So I know it's coaching, of course, but this will be awesome to hear that.
Yeah.
Computer
So
out.
Mary, before we go through our normal process, why don't you open that up and we'll do 5 minutes just running through. What I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm highlighting
Okay.
and typing in a couple of notes for us to, as we're going through.
Mhm.
So like in part one, there's a concern about a business license and not having clients. Part two has pretty developed sort of ideas. There's just a lot of them. So we have to pick one to get started. And I think that, David, is probably the crux of what's happened for you, is that you have a lot of great ideas and actually implementing them can be challenging. And so you start and then you're like, ooh, this doesn't feel so good, or I'm not sure on the next step. So I'm going to jump over to this one. And
and where's the VIP folder? I don't see
it's in his folder. It's under programs.
Program, got it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, I'm there. The PDF file. Nope, that's the. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, you got it? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be a little confusing. There's a few little things in there.
Yeah.
It's colorful. I like that. The man after my own heart there. I'm always colorful too. All right.
Yeah, I wanted to change it up a little after a bit there.
It's all good.
So.
Well, I do like to, David, number 3 is actually, you've answered that really great, because what it does is it talks about not only the empire that you'll have, but in what order you might have it and what method you might use it. And then what we have to do is take the answers from number 2 and say which of these things can best go down that path the quickest for you so that you're generating income. And then we can keep revisiting it. And that's when I say plan and pivot. When we pivot, like, what else are we going to add? What are we going to change? Or whatever.
Yeah. I know there was something that I should have put in there a little more explicitly that I've got. And it's sort of more stuff, but it's another potential source of income that I should just finish up right away. And it's 4 different sales funnels that I've purchased, do it for you, and I've never given them the information to do it for me. So
okay.
I wanted to check with somebody like Robin and see if she thinks is it safe and is it secure enough. I mean, I guess what you do is you just change your password to get into the website, and then change it back again when they're done.
Could you send us the information on the 4 do it for you things that you've purchased so that we can look into it? But before we develop your strategy, it'll be good to know what you've already purchased. And
Right. Now, I thought about, though, that was probably a pretty important thing that I left out. I only made a brief mention on one of these that I have I said PLR websites that I haven't implemented yet.
Well, if you think that there are tools or products that you've purchased that you should or could use right now in quick order, let me know about those. For instance, someone else had a program that they purchased that would be very useful for a VA to run. So I have found a VA to take that training program, and that might be the same thing with some of the things that you have, is that rather than you having to go through it and learn it all, I can locate somebody that can learn it and would be able to do it. So it depends on if it's just they do it, and you might just need somebody that interacts for you. So we'll see. We're not there yet.
I think he's worried too about the actual password, giving it out to an admin and how to handle that.
Yeah, we'll get to that,
Yeah.
David. But there is a lot of trust involved in that. But at the same time, it's like it's a website. So what are they going to do to your website, really?
Steal it.
Like, so what? You just come up with another
And
name.
I bought it from them. So
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So we just, yeah, if you bought it from them, you know,
Yeah.
if it's a place that sells websites and then they offer to do something for you that you purchased and then they go and steal something from you and then you go proliferate that all throughout the internet, that's not a very smart business move.
no.
You know,
No.
so that's why it's unlikely, especially if it's somebody that does sell business names. So we just need the information, and I need to figure out where's the best place for you to put that.
Okay.
And I have my video off just because I'll turn it off and on, but it's been unstable sometimes. So when there's so much video running,
Okay.
best place to store done for you web info. Okay.
Okay. I should probably make some notes too. Or when you do these, do you take notes and stuff? Do you write up something afterwards, or
Yes.
or
How this works is when we're finished, we have the beginnings of your strategic plan, and Mary will be typing as we're going through. So she's putting it into its structure. And we're going to keep refining that process as we go, but it'll have our notes in there. It'll have the to-dos in there. So we'll know what the action steps are. And that helps with the accountability piece.
Right, sure.
We know what to be accountable for.
And I would advise that you do take your own notes, because you might trigger on something that I think you know that you don't, or a point you really want to get locked in your mind.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Vigo. Is this called the VIP quarter day now?
Yeah, right. Well, we're splitting it into two pieces for anyone that, like, we did one with Heather that was the full 3 hours, but she already had 5 businesses that were running, making money. So it took a while to sort all of that out. I thought that was a better use to give you another opportunity once you're making money to have another one where we can look at, okay, now where do we go?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Hey, Stephanie, just for your, I've just set up his strategic action plan document up in templates.
Okay.
So if you want to look at it while.
All right, I will. I'm still going through his prep.
The numbers. Yeah, you know, the biggest one, I don't know what number are you on?
I'm on number 5.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's the one. Yeah. That's the biggest one. And a lot of it I just took straight from Christians is the really long one, because he gave all these bonuses for people who signed up for Eben Pagan's virtual coach program.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I just took most of them, just copied them out of his thing. So, which takes up a lot of room then, and you're probably familiar with most, if not all of these, programs that he's got. But he sure threw in everything but the kitchen sink as far as.
He did, and he won that one. So that's why he did.
Oh, okay. Well, so it was I didn't even see that.
No. You don't know that. That's what they do behind the scenes, is they have that going on. So
yeah. Well, a lot of times I've gotten a lot of promos for JV affiliates and stuff, and I actually can see contests and stuff going on, but I wasn't an affiliate for Eben, so.
Yeah. Okay, so some parts I'm not going to know maybe I'll make it italics, since you used similar colors and stuff.
Yeah.
Star. The Rapid Coaching Academy, it's good. I just wouldn't do it right now. It's really long, and you've already gone through a whole year-long certification.
Right.
We'll follow up later to get you the rapid success coaching sessions when you're a little bit more into what you're doing, and the coaching quick start, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Coaching Business Empire, when you have time, I would say in 3 months, I would watch that because it was a really great, it was a great event.
Yeah, I almost went to that live, earlier this summer.
Yeah.
And then I decided against it.
I'm going to watch this in February.
Okay.
So that can be in your action plan, is to watch Coaching Business Empire in February. The reason I say that is that it will get you all excited about all kinds of things, and we're going to be having you on one path right now.
Right. You don't want to get me too excited about too many things.
That's right.
I do that well enough for myself all the time.
That is true. Exactly. So this one you need to find.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I think that we can get started, and I think you've answered what we need to do though first is to go through number 2 and look at what is going to be the best area. If we were to describe your business, let's pretend we're a month or 2 months out and we're describing your business.
Mm-hmm.
What is your business? And you have 4 or 5 different options there. So we have to get to the crux of which one is going to make you feel the best, that's going to feel easy for you, but is also easy to implement.
Okay.
And easy to implement is where Mary and I come in.
Uh-huh.
You come in with which one, if I could only pick one of these, which one would I pick?
Well, so I think the easy to implement and potential for the quickest turnaround or getting cash is the thing that I was talking about, the 4 done for you things I've done. So that comes under the internet marketing business, and none of them are about domaining, which I said is kind of my main interest or primary interest, buying and selling virtual real estate under internet marketing. But I think to get those done quickly should be quick. It shouldn't take very much time. If I get them the information that they need, I would think they could all be done within a week to 10 days or something like that. And then they'd be there and I could test them out. I could see how they work, make sure it all works correctly with the sales funnel and everything. And try to start, marketing or getting some publicity to them. So I can get some people interested.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the quickest thing I could do.
I don't know that it is, because if it takes them a week to 10 days, that's really 2 weeks, and it's going to take you at least 2 weeks to get them what they need. And then there's some back and forth. So we're probably at 6 weeks by then.
I don't think it'll take me 2 weeks to get them the information.
Really?
If I sit down and just it isn't really that much information that they need. They need about 4 or 5 things.
Okay. So, David, when they get the information from you and they've created whatever it is they're going to create, then what do you believe is the outcome of that?
They're done sales funnels that then obviously still need traffic to them to get any results or have anybody buying any of the products or anything. But they are actually existing online, which is better than what I've got right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't even remember what all of them are, but I know that they were interesting to me, and I think they would be interesting to a number of other people the products and stuff. One of them I know is basically like a complete internet marketing course, kind of. It's how to be an internet millionaire or something. And that I've never seen that one before. It was one they advertised that we can do this brand new one for you. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't buy the program myself. I just bought the sales funnel to set it up.
Okay. So here's the thing, David. The fastest way to make money is to get one-on-one clients. So the question is, are you willing to do that?
Depends on what it takes. No, I mean, I'm willing to get the clients and do the coaching for sure. But if I have to go to a lot of network marketing meet or whatever you call them, networking meetings and things, then I'm less willing.
Well, so the thing is, David, what you have to do is if you are focusing on physicians, you have to meet physicians.
Right.
So the question is where, and when you go to meet physicians, you have to dress like a physician.
Right.
And so if you're willing to, like you've seen Mary, sometimes she comes on our thing and she's all like, wearing her clothes around her house, doing a Facebook Live for us. But then she says like, hey, look at me. I'm all dressed up and I went to an event today.
Then she gussies up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And well, and there's a purpose for that. I mean, it does give her more internal power to do that, but it's also people immediately judge when they see someone, and it's not that they're a bad person. It's just what we do in human nature, because we are designed to look at our environment and make some kind of conclusion. And so that happens. And so the question is, if you want to stand in front of doctors and tell them, who are already somewhat arrogant and believe that they already know it all, so to ask for help is a big deal. You want to tell them you can help them. You've got to stand in a powerful stance, looking the part where they can trust that you can actually help them.
Right.
So the question is, are you willing to do that?
Right. I am. I mean, as far as dressing up and all that, that's fine. I think that what I had considered doing, just thought about it a week or so ago, was sending out an email or a letter or something, maybe a physical letter to their office, to physicians that I still know.
They don't read their mail.
Well, that's not completely true.
I mean, maybe, but they're busy and they want to get going and they want to go home, and you want to do live stuff. So I'm feeling like if you could come up with what you would talk to them about and do a workshop for them, that's going to be the best way for them to meet you.
Right. That's probably true. Yeah.
And because when you meet someone online, unless they have a way to get you to watch some long drawn out thing that tugs at your heartstrings, they're just going to click on through.
Right. Mm-hmm. Sure.
So it's really about how are you going to put yourself out there?
Excuse me. Yeah. Yes. So I have to gear up for that then. But if I was going to do a workshop then for physicians, then that takes some work to do, to put together and stuff.
Not necessarily. I mean, again, I'm going to use Mary as an example, she has a master's degree in leadership. She has a master's degree in this and that. And yet what she found was she used the 5 Steps of Christian's program to explain her program, and it worked miraculously. So,
I use it for everything now. Literally everything. It's amazing how versatile it is.
I just wasn't joking when I said I use it as a conversation. It's just all of the 3 sessions that sells a conversation, and his 5 parts of the program is all you need. Like, you don't need to reinvent that wheel ever.
Yeah.
You just use stories from your area of expertise and your, the industry where you're trying to be an expert, and tie it back to your goal of what you offer. But the whole framework, exactly the same. You just wrap in different stories for what
Mhm.
audience you're talking to and all that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would say while and then I'm gonna shut up. But talking about going and meeting physicians, think about the drug guys, right? They
Yeah.
actually come make an office call. That's the environment that they're used to, is people coming to them
Right.
face to
Right.
face.
Right. Agreed. And I thought about that too. Actually, there was a time when I was thinking about becoming a pharmaceutical rep. So I thought about going into the offices and talking to different physicians, and of which, of course, there's fewer and fewer every year, but there's still a lot of doctors in Pierce County that I know. But there's a whole lot of new ones that I don't know in the last 11 years. And actually, really more than that, because I was so much out of the hospital environment in the last 10 years of my practice. So we're talking about 21, 22 years that I haven't really run into other physicians. So I have to go back a ways.
Okay, so one of your things is going to be, how do I position myself? How do I explain the 11-year absence from being a physician, and that now I'm able to tell you what you need to do to not do what I did, which is quit?
Right, right.
Like, I think it's positioned as, like, these are the things I wish I knew before I closed my doors,
Okay.
because I never would have left, or something to that effect.
Uh-huh.
I think that's what you're trying to say you want to do with them. So
Mhm.
coming up with, if you come up with a workshop to this effect, David, you can
Mhm.
also use it for an online program. You can also use it for one-on-one coaching. You can also use it for group coaching. It can be your all-in-one, one-stop shop thing that you just may expand a little bit. You won't need 20 different things for this group of people. You'll just take
Uh-huh.
your one core thing and expand on it, depending on how much money they're paying you and how much access they get to you.
Yes. Uh-huh. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And yeah, I think that could really be developed. Um, Things that I had wish I had done in my practice. I mean, there was a lot that I did do basically to tolerate or to make it better. Um, but most of that actually was kind of, in a sense, counterproductive, because it involved things like slowing down the practice, like taking fewer patients and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
which they aren't going to want to do, and or most of them aren't, and that's not necessarily. I mean, if you're going to be making less money, then they're probably not interested.
Yeah, and that's and we've spoken about this a little bit, David, and I think that one of your sessions that you're going to have is going to be in developing this and the training, the train of thought, which involves the practitioner versus the platform model. And so, using physicians or even like dentists as an example, you can be a dentist and you can be making $250,000 a year, but you have to be there Monday through Friday doing
Mhm.
dental stuff. You may have some hygienists and stuff doing some work, but you, the
Right.
dentist, have to be there because you have to check up at the end of every hygiene appointment. Now, you could go and hire 5 dentists and have $1 million practice. And yes, you might need to pay those other dentists some money, probably not 250,000 because they're not running the business, but you don't have to do anything for that business. I mean, for that money, except for own the business.
Uh-huh.
And so when you do that, that same dentist could still make $250,000 a year and never have to be the dentist.
Uh-huh.
He just has a
Right.
dental business, and he can have a dental business because he's a dentist. Now, I don't know all the logistics in terms, I mean, the legalities in terms of being a physician and how much time you have to be on site. There's people that do, and they know these strategies, and they know how to make this stuff work so that they're not in out of compliance. But that's the way they have to change their thinking is, I don't have to do everything myself to be able to make money, and spending an extra 3 hours doing paperwork is not necessarily the best thing. What would be the best thing is to find somebody that gets what I'm doing, and they can decipher my notes, they can write it out, and I can just review it.
Right.
Before it's final.
Hey,
So,
and also in the last, what'd you say, 11 to 20 years, concierge medicine has become a big deal. I had my GP went that way, and then she was making the same money but with less patients, so that was a better work-life balance thing. So there's that.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, I thought about that. Did you ever watch Royal Pains?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I paid like $160 a month, and then I had her on my cell phone speed dial if I had anything.
Okay.
You know, so it's not that much, but it worked for her. So.
Yeah, that's good.
So I think, David, what we have to do, what I'm suggesting, and if this feels good to you, is that we create this, maybe we even create your whole program, and then from creating your program, we pull out what you would do in a workshop versus what you would do in one of your programs that people pay for. And so the purpose of the workshop would be, it's, to give them a taste of, this is what it could be like. And you can even give them the steps of, this is what you need to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you don't tell them the how to do it, because that would take too long. But if they want more, then they can buy your info product, or they can be part of your group, or they can have you as they could be a one-on-one client. So that's how I think, and I've told you this from the beginning, what you want to do is needed. It's really a matter of that it's not necessarily going to be get rich quick. You're going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to get some clients. You're going to have to do these things, but it can be very rewarding, and you can have great success stories with it. Right.
Yeah.
So, the come to Jesus question is, do you want to do that?
When you're talking about mentioning like physician extenders, like for some of the people in this situation, I think maybe doing some kind of a little course on that or something. But I mean, a lot of them are probably very familiar with physician extenders and how to use them. So you've got physician assistants, and you've got ARNPs, nurse practitioners, and nurse practitioners do have a big advantage in that they do not have to be supervised by their license. They can write prescriptions, and they don't have to be signed off or supervised by the physician. And physician assistants, if they're not certified, pretty much everything has to be gone over. You have to sign off, countersign, or not absolutely everything, but you have to do a percentage of it. And if they're certified, that percentage goes way, way down. It's maybe 5 to 10% of their work or something. But you have to review. Anyway, that was just a thought I had about, because I used to have PAs in the office, and I would have loved to have had a nurse practitioner, but I never did hire one. But I had a couple physician assistants at times. Okay.
Would you recommend that they have one?
I think they can work out really, really well. Really well. I had very little problems with my PAs. I had 3 different PAs at different times. And, you have to do a little more supervising, like I said, and at first, of course, you have to, because you got to really get to know them and and how much they know, what their, fund of knowledge really is, clinical knowledge and stuff. But I think, you trust them more and more as time goes on. And I think you can't get out of some supervision, but, you have to do some, but I guess you can, be smart about that. And that's probably a whole model in itself of when physicians who have gotten busy practices by using a number of physician extenders and not doing a lot of the main frontline work themselves, just reviewing and supervising and stuff.
Right.
Which is interesting. I mean, I didn't get into that much. The most I ever had at one time, I had two, basically 1.5, because I had a full-time PA, and then I had a guy who came in only, not even half. He came in on Saturdays. But yeah.
Okay. So David, in your preparation form, you filled out on item 7 that you see yourself of having a clear vision of what your business is and where it's going, and that you plan to have 3 ongoing coaching clients paying you a minimum of $1,000 a month for coaching. And over the next 3 months, you see yourself earning and banking at least $8,000 to $10,000, starting to pay down your credit cards, having at least one of them paid off, and in 6 months, earning at least $5,000 per month, banking $7,500 by the 3rd month, and 12 months from now, monthly earnings exceeding $10,000 a month, very close, if not past $15,000 a month, and you'll be on track to having a $200,000 plus year in the following 12 months. So you'll be at a run rate, that's what they call it, a run rate of $200,000 plus for the next 12 months. So I think that's very succinctly stated. And is that where you can see no, I don't think it's aggressive at all.
Okay.
I don't think it's aggressive one bit, David. If you can do what you said in number 9, working on your business every day, not making excuses, taking action, those things that you said, getting organized and scheduling time, which also means being accountable. You said working on a signature speech, and that's what we've been talking about, is a workshop or a speech. With articles and contents. And then number 5, the PLR website's up and running and making passive income. I feel like that's the second stage, after this other thing is working, or it's just working in the background where it's not allowed to take up a significant amount of your time, but it's allowed to, we can give it a little love. Maybe you're allowed to spend 5 hours a week on it, and that's it.
That's really the idea with those, is that they really work in the background, and that you set it and forget it, and
that's the idea. It doesn't always work that way. So, with that, it will also, because you have these multiple possibilities, that will also need to be organized and structured so that you're not bouncing around those either, where you're just picking one and going, work 5 hours on it, and then the next get another 5 hours, and so forth. So you're slowly building it. And that's not how they sell it. They sell it as something really super fast. But that's why we need to do that, because the fastest way for you to get clients is to get back into this physician world and have your signature talk. I mean, that's why you have these programs. That's why you went to Lisa's thing. You start off with the 1 day, or start off with your 90-minute presentation or workshop. Then you can go to a half-day workshop, and eventually you will get to an event where physicians can come and learn this stuff from you.
Right. When Christian's IMX was going on, and your 1 day rapid results live, that weekend I was originally scheduled or planning to go to a big physician meeting in Chicago, which was all about alternatives for a physician. It was all about other sources of income, other things you can do besides just working directly with patients, to earn income, and there was a whole bunch of workshops. It's a big program that they put on. And I thought that, and part of it was about coaching, getting into coaching. I thought that was real interesting.
That is interesting. You should keep up with that group, even if you've missed the, because it'll help you keep up to date with what other people are already are telling people to do, so that you're not contradicting what they're saying. And you know, a lot of this business, David, is people restating what someone else has already said. It's not like you have to come up with the latest and greatest, like most innovative ideas on the planet. It's really more about the connection and does that person relate to you? Does that person trust you? And can you help them, you know, take that across the finish line? So the fact that I say stuff that Christian says all the time. It's just my delivery is different than his, and what I do with people is different than what he does. So it's okay that you don't have to think that you have to come up with the best. You just need to pick a way or two so that you can guide them. And if they're like, yeah, I like that, then they're going to want to work with you. And so that's just a piece of it. So it's okay to go and just scour their information, figure out what it is they're telling people to do. And you can, if you believe it and you're like, yes, that's good, then you can tell them to do those things too. And I do believe, because you've had the NLP training and so forth, and because you've done this other work, that you can add in there a different component, which is like self-care and you know, those types of things, mindset type of things that they may not necessarily focus as much on. They may be focused more on the money rather than the lifestyle and what to do for yourself.
Right.
So if you had a business where you had, you know, $5,000 a month in revenue in 6 months, and by the end of the year, you were looking at a next year run rate of 200,000 plus a year, what would that do for you besides paying off your debt?
Right. Well, it would give me, excuse me, a real sense of fulfillment, and I think a lot more freedom. Well, I don't know, but more freedom is, I mean, I've got a lot of free time right now. I probably have less free time, but you know, just feeling good about myself again, and what I'm doing, that I'm actually productive and making a good income again. I think is really important to me and my psyche, and would be a real reward. I mean, if I end up, you know, making that kind of money, for sure. And what else did you want to know? That,
well, what impact would that have, like, on your relationships? And because you've mentioned some strain with your children.
Right. Well, yeah. Yeah, if I start producing income like that, yeah, I think things, they'll obviously understand that I haven't been wasting my time all this time, and you know, I mean, I love my kids, and they love me. It's, you know, but
they worry about you. That's what, you know, that's what people who love each other do.
Yeah.
And that's why you need community like we have, so that you have people to talk to about these types of things, so that you don't worry them anymore. But it'll be great to share the good news with them.
Right.
Family and friends are great to share all your good news. Even sometimes too much good news makes them get a little jealous. It's like such a fine balance between, oh my God, I'm worried about you, and now, oh my God, I'm jealous of you.
Yeah.
Kind of, and they feel bad for themselves. So it's really interesting, human psyche kind of thing. So why would this be the best part?
what?
that you're productive, that your reward is giving you income, that your children, think you're going to be okay. Why is that the best part?
Right.
Business.
Excuse me. I think, well, obviously being fulfilled like that is going to be great. And you kind of could put all this frustration behind me as far as what's happened in the last 11 years. And where I was spinning my wheels for so long and not knowing what direction to go in. And then the kids, it's like my ex-wife probably believes in me more than anybody else as far as what I can do. And
what does she think you can do?
Well, pretty much anything I set my mind to.
That's a great person to have around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially an ex.
Right.
To think that. It's really great.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's the same way. So it's not unheard of, but they don't normally, most people, you don't hear, even if they believe it, you don't necessarily hear of them in your corner cheering for you.
Right.
So it's great that you have that, David. And when you're having those moments that you wrote about where you're like, oh, I'm not going to be successful anyway, you might want to schedule time to just do a little dream session so that you have someone that believes in you that's close by, that can give you that sense that you need. But I believe you said that the things that were basically slowing you down are the things that you need to do. The stuff in number 9, I said 3 things and you wrote 5. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's actually on your list. I realized afterwards I messed it up. That's actually number 10 on your list, and I got off on number 6, or between 5 and 6.
Yeah.
There's another one there that didn't get numbered.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem.
But how do you feel? And I think you left out something out of that sentence, like, how do you feel about the current state of your business, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's one of them that's supposed to be numbered. Got it.
Yeah. Wait a minute. How do you feel about the current state of your business? Yeah, that was supposed to be 6, and then it would be 7, 8, 9, 10 after
okay.
that.
No problem. All right. I think that we have an understanding, more so than most people at this point in this call, that we understand where you'd like to be, and we understand, and you understand what it is you need to do to be able to accomplish it in terms of your habits. So then what we really need to do is look at, what is it you're going to do? What's the path you're going to take? And what do you need to be able to do that path? So from there, what I would say is the options, as they usually are to do workshops or speaking to attempt to get intro sessions with people. The other is to create a solely online strategy to attempt to get people to tell you that they want an intro session.
Right.
There's really 2 ways to get the clients. One is human. I know you, or someone told you to call me. And then the other one is online, which eventually becomes a human connection as well. It just takes a little while to get there. So when you're looking at those 2 paths, it seemed to me that the human connection is something that you're really interested in because you've done a lot for events and speaking and so forth. But then at times you talk a lot about creating the funnels online and so forth.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that I don't make something up in a path for you that you really would prefer something else.
Yeah.
So of those 2 paths, human or computer, which one are you more inclined to embrace?
Well, I mean, I really like both paths, but if I gotta pick one, I mean,
It's
like,
just to get started. They will both be implemented. You need both. They're both important, but just to get started.
right. Well, what I'm interested in seeing really and seeing and doing is set up those 4 funnels. I'd like to get that done right away and then see how much of that actually could be used as, because it's all PLR. I mean, and so in other words, I can revamp and revise them or whatever.
What's the R stand for?
That's going to take time. That's a time investment.
Yeah. What does the R stand for?
In PLR,
Yeah.
private label rights.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was a product launch. Okay, private label rights. That has to do with the domains and stuff?
Yeah, so I have such a ton of private label rights material, which is you can use as your own. You can take somebody else's ebook. If he gives you PLR to it, you can put your name on it and say you wrote it.
David, so people do that and then they get called out.
Yeah.
They get called out all the time. You have enough information. You could create an ebook in no time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying don't do that stuff, but you don't need someone else's information. What you're doing is super specific to a super specific target. It could actually be even more targeted from what type of physician and how big is their practice. So basically what you're saying
primarily
is like,
family physicians, I think, because I'd be more comfortable with family physicians. And I think there's probably a greater need because of a lot of, things tugging at them, pulling on them. The family physician, I mean, you've got to see more patients, and yet you have to spend quality time with all the patients. And, so there's a lot of things that create stress.
what I'd like to do, David, is I'd like to find out about your 4 programs. And I have this assistant, Amy, that does a lot of projects for me. And I would like her to take a look at those 4 things and give me her synopsis of what she thinks, knowing what she knows about what we do. So we can see before you go down the road of just, trying to private label someone else's stuff.
Right.
They're going to set up websites for you. Whole different story.
Right.
That might be cool, but we need to look into like, what does it really mean? What's it really going to cost? What are the maintenance costs going to be, and so forth? I'm sensing more and more in this call that you need to do workshops, or you need to do these 90-minute speaking things. If you're willing to do it, if you're willing to dress the part and be that leader. You have the support of your ex, which means a lot because they're the person that knows you super well. I don't know, Mary, I'd love your opinion here.
On the X or
no, on the path. On the path.
Yeah, because the sense I'm getting, because all these are in very different directions, right? And I don't know what the 4 programs are, but looking at your VIP form, there was the sports fan thing and the domain selling thing. Those are super far apart. So I think absolutely the analysis of those would be super helpful, because I'm like you, I care about a lot of different things. I myself am a big believer that face-to-face and networking is going to get you the fastest path to cash, because you don't have to spend all that time online building up your know, like, trust factor. People are going to resonate with you, and they're going to like feel your heart and your energy, and like, I can trust this guy, And so, I love analysis of that. And
Mary, the analysis I'm talking about, I think is different than those things. The analysis I'm talking about are like these 4 PLR things, which is only number, I think he had it as number 4.
There's 4 PLR programs?
Yes, he has 4 PLR programs, which are let me scroll back up.
Where is it?
It's in number 2.
Okay.
In number 2, number, where did you mention that?
Number 2's little.
It might be number 3, where he's talking about the 4.
No, it's not in 3. Let's see.
Or is it a whole nother one that you left out?
I think it came later.
It's number 6.
Is it?
I don't
In
know.
6? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
Where's number 6? I can't find a 6. I don't know.
There is no 6. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Under
There
number
is a
2.
6, but the 6 is supposed to be 7.
No. We're talking about different things. Under
Oh.
question number 2 of what area do you want to focus on, you have 5 items. And I'm saying that it looks like the PL, whatever you,
PLR.
PLR is like not on there.
He mentions it in number 9 on his to-do list. If you do a find,
Yeah.
that's the
So
only-
David, you have it as number 5 in number 9, in question 9, but you didn't even list it in question 2.
I thought about that afterwards. I meant to put it in, and I was getting pretty tired by the end. I was going to go back and revise, because it should go in under the internet marketing business, and then which is the third part of number 2. It should have been in there.
Okay, I'm putting it in there now.
Okay.
So that we have it for reference.
I don't see your cursor. Oh yeah, I do. I see where you're
I'm
at.
making it blue.
Oh, wait a minute.
I would it's interesting your verbiage in that statement, that you are primarily focused on doing that, but that they've mostly proven to be a distraction.
Yeah, so the thing is, Mary, in this part 3, it's a variety of things, because his first statement is about buying and selling virtual real estate.
Right.
So that's just domain names. But then the PLR is marketing other people's stuff as your own, which is another thing within this group. And I don't know what else is in there. But David, if someone's creating a true sales funnel for things that belong to David Brown, that's a valuable service to have already purchased. If that's not what those 4 things are, that's what I want Amy to take a look at, then we're just going to use our model and keep going with you. Because all of that in number 3 is a distraction right now. There's no clear path. Being online, from what we're talking about, if we look at number 1, there is a clear online strategy for, it's in question 2, you put it as number 1. There's a clear strategy for that online. It's very different than buying virtual real estate and doing PLR using someone else's stuff. Unless someone happens to be someone that teaches physicians how to blah, 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 and then, well, why won't they just go there?
I think that's a good question too, is these are so different. Like, you're going to pick one and you're going to talk about it everywhere you go, and you're going to be thinking about it, and you're going to be making all these things. So you have to be super, super passionate. Which one of these, like, really just you get fired, like you would do it all day, every day, you would lose track of time, you would stop eating, you'd have to set alarms to go to bed. Like, which one of these does that for you? Because it does it. I mean, when you're getting started, it's going to be a time thing, right? Investment.
Yeah, I think, well, I guess the thing that hits closest to home really is, with physicians who feel overwhelmed, burnout, et cetera, and thinking about the rate of physician suicide, which has gone up and is way too high. I mean, that's it may be a small percentage still, which it is, but I mean, it's like people have just gotten so desperate and that they're not seeing a way out. And a lot of that has to do with control, of course, by insurance companies and outside forces, where they don't feel like they're in control anymore of their own practice.
Pretty powerful. We were talking earlier about, physicians that want to make more money. That's probably not the group of physicians you're talking to. You're talking to the ones that are like on the treadmill making the money, going, how in the world do I get off of this before I have a heart attack?
And how can I still help people and still care about people and not have to only give them 15 minutes? And I'm feeling like some kind of like an interview series might be a good online strategy where you're interviewing physicians who have successfully gotten off the treadmill. Okay. And by doing that, David, what you'll do is you'll get market research while you're getting content. So you could go find 20 people that have successfully gotten off of this treadmill, and you could say to them, I'm doing research. This is really important, and I wish I could have done that when I was a physician. So I'd really like to ask you these 10 questions. Can you spend 15 minutes? And would you mind if I use this audio at some time in the future? Okay. And then that way you have content if they allow it. If they don't allow it, you still have research. You can always write about it and not use their name. So it's going to it will serve you so well, because it'll A, give you confidence that you know what you need to know. B, it will help define what your program is going to be. Mm-hmm. You have content. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Right. Would you commit to finding 10 of these people and interviewing them once we have the questions lined up? Yeah, sure. I think that's a really good idea. I like it. I thought about interviewing before. I hadn't thought about it in a while, but I know it's a good way, a great way to get content and to get the word out about what you're doing, and like you said, market research and everything. It's a way to get better focus, but it's a way to get content for my program,
And not only content, another great thing, like we're doing with Heather on the preschool owner interviews, this is similar. Now you've got 10, 20 people, it's 20 is what we said, that know that they've done it, but you're coaching people through it. So if they have other people come to them and go, how in the world did you do this? They can give them some points to go, hey, David over here, man, he is coaching people. He was providing that support. Go see David. So now you've got 20 sources of referral because they know you're doing this work. So that's awesome. Right. Good point. So I definitely want to look into and start with people I know, and I can think of a couple people who would be good to interview who are local in Tacoma, in the county anyway, and they could probably point me in the direction of other people too. That have already done, because you'll need two lists, David. You'll need lists of, these are people who successfully got off the treadmill. And the other one is, these are people who need to get off the treadmill. And they are going to be the ones that you're going to go target immediately upon. When you complete those interviews, your program will be complete. I mean, it won't take but moments to complete your program and know exactly what you're going to do and
And it will morph and it will change as you go live and you start doing things, and that's fine. And that's why this is a year-long program, because this first few months is going to be developing it, getting what you need, and then you're going to go live and you're going to get clients and you're going to be helping people, and we're going to just keep refining it. We're going to focus more on, okay, now that I've got some live people where this is working, now let's go send our message online so that we can get more people into this tribe that need to get off the treadmill and start getting calls where you don't have to see people in person. But for me, having some folks to work with one-on-one in person was super valuable to really getting to understand the psyche of the entrepreneur, what they're going through, what their days were like. And I could get that energetic feeling of being near them versus it's a little bit harder on the internet. So once you have that, then what it will do for you, or at least what it did for me, was it gave me confidence that I absolutely know what they're going through, and I absolutely know what to ask, and I absolutely know how to help them. Whereas before I was pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I could, but I wasn't absolutely sure. And now when I speak to someone, I'm at a probably 90%. I know whether or not I can help them if they will be, if they'll follow the program.
Right. Okay.
So, and that helps me, because then if someone purchases and doesn't follow the program, then they didn't follow the program. But I know that it can work because my program I've done several times. So,
yeah, that's another thing, and we didn't talk about it, and I didn't put anything in there, but I mean, I feel really bad about the 90 days to 90K that I haven't followed through on that or gotten past 1.1 or 1.2 or something like that.
And it's okay, David, because those same principles apply here. So you're going to be getting them in a different way. You'll be still learning them, and you'll have them, you're just going to have help implementing them. So we're going to take what you completed, I believe it was in your number 7, which is where you want to be. And that's going to start to develop that worksheet that we talked about. And we'll be putting that together. It'll take a little bit, but it will come together. So don't worry about what you didn't get or what you didn't do. There is there is one piece of 90 days to 90K that could be super helpful for you. And that is the session I did on how to create a program. And I highly recommend that you go back through that, speed through the pausing where I was letting people write, or you can just write when I was having them write, and get through that. And that will help. If you can do that before your next call with Mary, that can really help in developing this program more.
Okay. I think I started to watch that and then never finished it.
It was
I think I only got a little ways into it, but it did look good.
It was good.
It was good.
It was a good one.
And it was a game. So it made it sort of fun instead of, what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And maybe, David.
That wasn't the game. That wasn't the create a game or whatever.
No, it wasn't my game that I created, but I just made that. I just made it more fun, and I called it a game.
Right.
But it's not the same game that I went to the training for. That's much more involved and takes lots of hours and generally needs to be done in person. But what you might also want to do, if you can do this without maybe talking too much, David, is ask in our group, in the RPM group, who wants to watch that at the same time. And so you can be on Zoom and watching it and working on it together. And it might help more than one person. Or you can use the 90 days group, whichever.
Right. Okay.
There's a couple people in RPM that might not know what you're talking about because they didn't come through 90 days, and I'll just have to get them access. I just didn't want to overwhelm them right now.
Right. Is it so when they join RPM, do they automatically have access to the 90 days also?
Yeah, I'm going to give them access to those. They don't have the calls that we went through, but the access to some of the content, I'm going to give them access to it just because it's valuable. I am building out an RPM website, so I'll move some of that content over so it's there as well.
Okay.
That way people don't have to flip flop, but it's not ready yet. So that's just what we have to do.
Okay. And how long ago did you do that?
It was the day before Labor Day, Sunday before Labor Day. It was right before I started that 14 days of training.
Okay.
It was like,
I want to do that. That sounds fun.
So
especially since it's about speaking. That's what I want.
yeah, there is a speaker series. I'll see what's coming up.
Oh, speaking of speaker series, and can I draw your attention to the end of number 6? Because I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. Not 6. I'm sorry. It would be 5. It would be the end of number 5, which is after I went through all of Christian's bonuses.
Uh-huh.
Then I said in that paragraph below that in black, there are so many more courses and coaches and mentors that I have that it's almost impossible to name them all. I need to mention a few. Felicia Slattery. Do you know who Felicia Slattery is?
No.
And she doesn't know who you are, but I'm trying to get the two of you together.
Okay.
She actually, I was talking with her the other day, and she did send you a friend request on Facebook.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You probably don't look at those too often.
No, I do. I look at them every day. I see them every day.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't see one unless I accepted her already. If she knows anything, then I probably already accepted her.
You're like me, you get so many, you can't keep up with it. You know what I mean? Unless somebody tells you, like you telling her, that's a great idea.
Yeah, but if they don't have any of my friends, I usually don't accept them. I wait and I see if they fall off. A lot of times they fall off because they're fake.
I don't know if you guys have friends in common or not. Well, me.
Yeah, so then I probably did if you were.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Keep going.
I might have been the only one. Yeah. So what I wrote, Felicia Slattery is an internet marketer and a speech coach, teaching people how to do their signature speech and keynote speeches. I purchased a large program from her this summer, which included all of her products that she's developed and also included 6 months of Monday morning marketing with her.
Okay.
And this is a very cool thing that she does where she makes herself available for 30 minutes total to whomever calls into her teleseminar line at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Monday. If you're the only one who calls in, and I have been 3 times, you get all 30 minutes with Felicia to ask her anything, pick her brain, go over your written content or speech, etc. She's a wonderful person. I told her all about you, Stephanie, and said that you two should get acquainted. I thought that you might want to bring her in as a guest speaker for the RPM Mastermind sometime. Okay. She's been in internet marketing for a good 12 years, I think, 11, 12 years. So I also wondered.
What speech have you been working with her on?
What speech? Mm-hmm. I got all our material, and we haven't actually worked on a speech together yet. But I've asked her a lot of other questions about internet marketing. I asked her about the PLR stuff, and the thing is, David, when you have someone valuable with one-on-one time, like if we can have you focused, then you can go in, and that is one thing that Andy is really good at. When she has time available, she is going to ask a question, and she's going to ask 23 questions all the way down until she knows exactly every last micro step that she needs to do. Now, it's not always great for everybody else, but it's pretty amazing to watch because she has thought through all the way to the end, and she uses someone's time to get exactly what she needs. So it might be an extreme from, with what she does, but at the same time, using Felicia's time
to the best. Like when we come up with what we're going to do, and then we come up with what your program is, and then you bring that to her and you say, I want to create a 90-minute speech around this and a 4-hour workshop around this. She's going to be like, hallelujah, I can help you. And then how to get this thing online.
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then how to get this thing online. She's going to be like, yeah, this is what I suggest you do. And you can take that recommendation back to us and we will help you implement. That's what we do.
Right. Okay.
We call Mary a head coach, but really what we are is it's implementation coach. It's someone to help hold your hand to get this stuff, working and happen.
Right. So it's kind of an additional accountability, I guess, too. Right?
It does have accountability, but it also has like, oh my gosh, I'm stuck and I don't know what to do. You have a person for that.
And now you don't have to pay, you don't have to use your sessions for your talk with us. You've already paid for her to do that part, and you can use these sessions for, other stuff, your marketing of this program and all that, but actually getting your speech tightened up, you've already paid for that. So I would duplicate it. Yeah.
Right.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
But I would be careful. One thing, because I've gone through a program a few years ago where they did the keynote speech, and sometimes they want you to go a certain way, like your personal story, like the emotional, the whole thing's about your personal story. And then that one doesn't really talk about your products and things. So you got to what's the purpose? What's the outcome you want your speech to have? And if you want people on your email list, or you want people to sign up, you need to go in with her. Like, I need this speech, but I need it to not just have people connect with my heart. I need to get it to, have people come to me as an expert on this topic. That's really big, because I saw people go through a $9,000 program and come out with a speech that doesn't market anything. And that's, it's just painful to watch.
Yeah.
It was a great speech though,
Right. Yeah. So I understand. And I think Felicia can be a real good ally. And I think what I bought, she did this sale I think it was early summer, where she put all of her courses, everything she's ever produced online, together and packaged that and including 6 months of this Monday morning marketing call, which my 6 months, I'm probably 4 months into it or so.
Okay.
But I could renew it, but I'll have to pay for it. But
yeah, our goal is to have you with enough materials to just go to her every Monday for 6 weeks. So you should have your stuff ready to go within a couple of weeks so that you can be going to those Monday meetings every Monday for 6 weeks and get her to help you flush that out.
Yeah, in fact, last Monday, because I was the only one on the call this past Monday, she gave me homework to do, which was to get more crystal clear on what I'm doing.
Perfect.
And bring that and commit to what I want to do and bring that back to her next Monday. So, yeah.
I would book a speaking gig 6 weeks from now.
Yep. That will make it get done, David, because you don't want to look like an idiot. Oh, I just know, I can sense that you would never forget. First of all, you wouldn't let it happen. And second of all, you would be you just wouldn't let it happen.
Yeah.
So if you could, I agree with Mary.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Make sure it's the right target market. Even if you have to get your friend doctors to pull some people together and you're just practicing, you want it to your target market. So then it's a speech you can take and give anywhere.
Yeah. I think a good group to target, but it may take a while to get on their list or, to give a talk. I don't know. But it's it's like the local chapter of the American Academy of Family Physicians, and they have a monthly meeting where they have a guest speaker. And
call them, because their speaker may like have a problem and not show up, and say, hey, I'd love to be a backup speaker if somebody drops out, and then get on their calendar for whenever the next date is. Just don't say I'm working on a program. Don't put yourself into the future. You have a program. You have, that's another big one.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you, Mary, how you get so many talks. How you, because you seem to have been given a lot of talks recently.
It's crazy because I've not gone looking for any of these. But
Really?
I signed up with a public speaker association here in town, and that lady's connected. And this is the deal with face-to-face. So I could have just signed up and I get a profile on Speaker Hub. But Austin's big on one-on-one coffee dates. So I went and met her, and we talked, and now she's referring me like crazy.
Okay.
I haven't even put in a proposal without people coming to me first. I'm like, wow, that's the power of face-to-face. If people get your passion for your subject, and they're like, oh, this is gonna be a great speech, And so that's where I'm getting everything. So now I'm like, okay, now if I go looking for them, the opportunities, it's really going to go, right? So that's why calling your friends and saying, hey, you guys have gotten out of this treadmill too, I really want to work with people. Can you guys help me pull together or talk to the local chapter of American Family Physicians and see about getting me in there? I would love to, give this talk and inspire people that it can be done,
Right.
I'm sorry, Stephanie. I didn't mean.
No,
got
it's
on
all
speaking,
good.
so
no, it's very good. But that's a to-do, Mary, is to besides this first one, is for him to have a strategy of finding places to speak, and I think it's going to get into a routine type of situation where, for his accountability, like every week I have contacted 12 places to possibly be able to speak. And I've put in this many proposals. And, in the wins section is, how many have I gotten and how many people have I spoken to? And I would continue doing the interview series even after you get to 20, I would still do one a week forever.
Yes.
It'll keep you fresh. And it'll keep you knowing what's going on without you having to go to every seminar on the planet.
Yeah.
You'll hear about books people are reading. You'll hear the books they're reading. You'll hear the podcasts that they're listening to. And you can make decisions as to whether or not that needs to be in your daily plan. The other thing is, of all that stuff you wrote down, the number one program that you've listed in there that I suggest for you is Wake Up Productive.
Okay.
That for you, David, may be worth the money you paid for the whole virtual coach program.
Okay.
It's a great program. And
so you're familiar with it then? You're familiar with it?
Yeah,
okay.
I am. And
what's it called?
Wake Up Productive.
It's a
Wake
program?
up, have a cup of coffee, and get productive.
It is. And it has points in time where you get up during the day and you go walk outside.
That's awesome.
It's really, and it has you work a certain number of minutes, and then you have to get up and go do something. So it's, it is a great program. It's one of Evan's oldest programs, but it's a great program.
Yes. Okay. Could we, I know we don't have much time here, but could I finish talking about that or going over after Felicia Slattery there, just to bring you guys' attention to the other things, some of the other things that I have. It's not all that long.
I read it.
Okay. What, do you know Jeff Herring?
No, I don't know either of those people.
Okay. He's been around forever. Jeff Herring been in internet marketing, I think, since 2004 or maybe even 2003, something like that. And he's a really great guy, really down-to-earth guy. And he does a lot for his people. And he usually just sells a year of group coaching, I think, for maybe $597, something like that for a year. And it's not very expensive. And he decided a couple years ago to do lifetime coaching and make it $997. So I thought, well, hell, yeah, I'll go for that. Yeah. So,
Okay. But
so
the thing is, are you focusing on internet marketing right now?
well, there's a lot of things that need to be internet marketed. Or
There's
it would
actually
benefit.
not. There's actually not a lot of things that need to be internet marketed. It's actually not that much.
Okay.
It just,
well-
VA.
yeah, you have a VA, you have these other things that we have to look into. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not saying that what he has isn't valuable. It's just not for right now. And that's why we have this document, because we can go back and revisit and be like, oh, now might be a time to do this. What's this about? You know, and we'll get more information, and then we can slowly start, like, think of it as a sandwich, and we'll start adding some layers on there, and we'll see which ones work. But we're not going to, like, just change direction, abandon the ship, and start over.
Right. Sure.
There's no more of that.
Well, one valuable thing you can get from Jeff that we could plug in at some point is you can do a hot seat with him or a focus thing on certain Tuesdays. So, I mean, I could bring a developed program along for his comments, and it's not just his; it's everybody who's on the call, of course. And so, at some point. And then I mentioned just a couple of things, but there's so many other courses I've got. I'd have to go through and pick out a couple that might also be relevant.
We don't need to do that right now, David.
No.
Okay.
No more right now.
Free your mind. Get that off your to-do list.
When we're ready, when we have time for that, we'll let you know, and you can go look it up. But hopefully you're making $5,000 a month at that time, and you're kind of like, who cares?
Right.
Because
Okay.
when you're making $5,000 a month, you're going to be able to see much larger dollars available, because you're going to be able to see that those layers don't necessarily have to be something different, that they can be more of what you're doing. And you could do something simply and just do it in multiple ways, or have the bigger reach. But David, this physician thing is the thing you talked to me about back in August when you were signing up for 90 days. So you keep going back to it. There's definitely a need for it. You have been a general practitioner, so you have credibility in it.
Big time.
So
you got to say family physician, because general practitioner anymore is somebody who didn't do a residency. And
So a family physician. Physician. And so now here, I want to make sure that as we're finishing a few things, but I want to make sure we're clear that what you have to do is interview 20 people. We have to get a time to that, Mary.
Okay.
3 to 5 a week at least, or more.
Yeah.
3 to 5 a week.
Especially to have this all worked up by 6 weeks from now. But even if you just have 3 to 5, you still have plenty to talk about in a speech. So that doesn't go together, but you need to you need to book that speaking gig now. Because like you said, there's lead time, and you want to do it 6 weeks from now.
Okay. So let's make sure, Mary. Okay.
3 to 5 weeks.
Number 1 is 3 to 5 interviews a week that are recorded if possible.
Yes.
Which means the precursor to that.
Freeconferencecall.com.
Yeah. The precursor to that, Mary, is that he needs the questions. So this is what the first call will do. The questions to ask the person. That'll be in the first call that you guys do.
And there's two different. There's an expert interview, right, where I'm talking to people who have figured it out, who have gotten a solution. And I know a couple people I can target for that to see if I can get an interview. And then there's the people who are running on the treadmill.
No. You're not talking to them right now.
We're not doing that.
I'm not?
No, that's who you're going to target when you have this all settled.
Yep. We're not doing that yet.
Okay, so number 1 was
develop the questions.
So number 1 is the 20 people to do that, you have to develop the questions. Number 2 is make a list of 2 sides. One side is people who have done it, so you can call them, and the other side is people who need it, who need to get off the treadmill. This is probably not in the right order, Mary.
I know. Yeah, I'm gonna fix it.
Okay, and then also you need to be booking a speaking gig 6 weeks out. So by mid-December, you're speaking.
Okay.
So contact that chapter of Family Physicians.
Right. Okay.
Like today.
Yeah.
Within 1 week. 1 week, we want that scheduled.
Okay. Within 1 week, let's see what I can do on that. I'll have to find out who's running it these days, and then.
And if that's a no, you keep looking.
Yep.
Like you are on a mission.
Yep.
For a 30 to 60 minute talk. 30 to 90 minute talk.
Okay. Yeah, I know with them. Excuse me. I know the format allows for about a 30 to 45 minute talk.
Great.
Yeah. Because
what will
they do
happen
other
is
things.
you will write a 90 minute, but we'll work on how you can cut it out if you have to. To 45 and to 60 to 45 and 30. And that will be the other thing is the 5 parts of your program. Like, what is your offer? That's not going to be complete right up front, but it is a part of the conversation you should start having with Mary on what you think should be in each of those components. You will be revising that as you talk to these 20 people. So what will happen is you will have a when you have this call with Mary and you come up with the 5 steps, she's going to show you how you can keep adding information into each of those steps as you learn more information from the people you speak to. And it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be beautiful sentences or worded beautifully. It just needs to be bullet pointed so that the right information is in the right spot. So when we're creating documents, content, going over your speech, going over your offer, we have the information to do that. Mm-hmm. I think that, and then wake up productive. That's number 5. You need to be, you don't need to take a lot of time to do that every day.
Right.
Give yourself 15 minutes a day to go through his program and start implementing the habits that he's talking about.
Okay.
Sounds like Miracle Morning. That's interesting.
The last thing is David needs to set up his calendar so that there is 10 at least specific hours in a day that are specifically set aside and nothing can come in their way. It's as if they are a client that is paying you money. Those, not 10 hours a day, 10 hours a week, where you will do these 5 things that we talked about. It has to be related to your business, period. Not another potential business. It is the physician rescue formula or whatever it is. That is what you're focusing on.
It's the physician, heal thyself, and with some help from your friends.
Yeah, but it needs to be 3 letters when you get to it. 3 words.
Oh, okay.
2 or 3 words.
PRF, physician rescue formula, PRF, proof.
Oh, I like it. You're welcome.
There you go. What a good person. You got it.
So when you say we will do every week, the 10 hours, he's going to have it for clients. He's not going to book anything else on top of it. And you said work on the 5 things we talked about. Which 5 things? Because we've got different things.
The 5 things are, who can I be talking to that's either in group A or group B? They've done it or they need it. Well, I guess group B, we're not really talking to them, but you can keep listing them.
Yeah, because I'm a little confused because I said I could talk to some people who are running the rat race.
Don't talk to the ragged people. Don't talk to them yet. You will eventually be able to start getting information from them, but not right now. The people you talk to have been successful. The questions that you're going to ask them will get them back into the state of mind when they weren't successful at it, when they were on the treadmill. You will get enough information about that from them so that when you go to talk to the person that is on the treadmill, it'll be like talking to the person that's not on it anymore. Mm-hmm. You'll know exactly what they're going to say.
Okay.
They might throw in a few other things, but it's pretty much going to be the same story over and over and over and over and over again.
And you just want to capture their language.
Yeah. So,
how did you get off the treadmill, sir?
Yes. But first you have to remember him he need to get out of him on the treadmill, and then how he got off the treadmill and what is he doing differently now than when he first got off the treadmill.
Okay.
Those are that's where the 10 questions come from. That's what you want to know. So those 10 hours, Mary, are lining up who to talk to either now or later, A or B, documenting what he's learned along the way to fill in for the program.
Hold on. I was like I was typing okay. So the 5 things: ask yourself, who can I talk to? Sorry, I was writing down what you said, but the other thing was good. I was writing it down. Okay. Ask who I can talk to. That's in the people that have done it. What was the next thing?
So, but he's always still going to be listing out, who's a future target also. Right. So I just call it the AB list. Add the AB list. Keep adding to the AB list. Interviewing people, interviewing A's right now. Updating the strategic plan for the information that he has found out to keep developing the program. Doing Wake Up Productive.
Right.
I don't remember what the other one was. But I think it'll be like not this week, but within a week or so, it'll be getting on Felicia's calls to be developing your talk. Oh, you had to book your speaking gig. So
yes,
I guess it'd be just about that whole thing. Like it has to be developed, something to do with either creating your speech or getting to speak. Those activities are the activities you should be doing, and that's it right now.
So, and you're saying even not the PLR website, or if I could do that in half an hour or an hour?
Not right now. No. Not right now.
Off your to-do list.
Just wait until you have some traction.
Okay.
Then we can go back to it. It's not going to kill you for a few more months to put that aside.
I think you're like me. Tell me if I'm wrong. I could be. So the first thing is, I know you spent a lot of money on that PLRF stuff, and part of you is probably like, I need to fold this in. I spent all this money on it. You're going to get back to that. But right now, because that's what you've been doing, is kind of hitting or missing on all the different things. And now we just want to get you like down that trench so you can start making money. So just
a laser focus.
Yes, laser focus. So it's not guilt over spending the money. It's like what everybody does. It's sunk cost, right? You're like, I put all this money into this. I need to be using it, right? And you will in the future, but right now we want to keep you laser focused. And the second thing I think you really need to think about, so on this sheet and in this call, you used your time to talk about other people's programs and what they're doing instead of strategic actions for you. And I think you're like me, and I give, and I forget that I need to receive and work on me too. And so that's a mindset thing. I would think about that when you're looking at working on your homeworks and things, and our time talking. You got a team, honey. We are focused on you. So, okay, that's my 2 observations. So just things to ponder,
Okay. So when do we get together for our call, Mary?
Well, let's make sure that Stephanie is.
I'm done. It's
done?
Good. I may send. I've been completing this template for the avatar, and I might tell everyone to do that. And you, David, might take more time in completing it because you're doing market research, but that might be the only thing I add, but I'll be adding that for everyone.
Okay. Hey, are you going to go live at all on this call?
Oh, I can. I forgot that I never did that.
I just wondered.
Okay, hi.
Hey. All
Sorry.
right.
I forgot that I wasn't on. I've been looking at your document and looking at what Mary's been typing, so
Mhm.
I didn't even.
Yeah.
So sorry.
So I just got to look at the pretty picture of you. So that's
Oh,
right. But it's
probably
nice
a
to
little-
It's a
see
good
your
picture.
It is a good
Uh,
picture. You know,
You
it's
came
funny.
on live. Why
It was
were you
one of those,
hiding? You look good.
like I had a few minutes to get there and just like got myself ready and went, and it was hilarious. I was like, I didn't even do anything to get ready for that. So,
Well, you look good. I thought you were sitting there in your bathrobe or something. That's why you
so no, I'm totally not. I just, because the last time I was doing this, the internet was getting unstable. So I was like, it's just better with it so long, the video not being on the whole time, but I forgot to turn it back on. Anyway,
Okay.
well, I think this was a good session. David, what did you find most valuable?
Focusing on a plan to follow through on that has a rationale, and I can picture it and see where I need to go. I think it's ambitious to an extent, but I think if I can just figure out enough people to interview, I've got ideas for probably 4 right now.
Okay.
But
So,
and I don't know if they're going to be willing. You know.
David, 4. Like, there's billions of people on the planet. I don't know how many positions there are. Just sit on your computer for 10 minutes and do some research of, because there's stories out there.
Yeah, sure.
So,
Sure, I can do that. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of things off the top of my head or people. Yeah. And a couple of them would be the people who were in that Chicago program, and the one who recommends that physicians go into coaching now. I thought that would be an interesting person to interview.
Yeah.
And and a couple are very successful local physicians that have figured out how to do it without killing themselves.
Okay. Well, that might be another thing, is to figure out where to go to post, to ask people, how'd you do it, that kind of stuff. I'm not sure, but whenever you get small, where you're thinking, I don't know where I'm going to find people, remind yourself how many billions of people are on the planet. When I said I didn't know anyone in San Diego, I knew 14 people in all of Southern California, which is LA down. It's even north of LA down. I knew 14 people. And then I said, well, there's 3 million in San Diego County. So there's people here. I just might have to go find them. And that's
right.
So there's billions of people, millions of physicians. There's got to be at least hundreds of thousands that have gotten off the treadmill. You need 20.
Maybe so. Yeah, that's
20.
Yeah, and definitely doing some research on that online would be a good place to find some more people to interview.
Yeah.
But as far as the 10 questions, then we still need to develop that.
Yeah, right? That'll be with Mary.
Okay.
And you can start brainstorming your questions, and then we'll have that to start with.
Okay. I've written a couple down.
Good.
So,
but like Stephanie was saying, just remember in that interview, you want to take them on the emotional journey of, tell me what it felt like before you got off, like what made you want to leave being a family physician, and get them to like remember, like, oh God, I couldn't breathe. I was in the cardiologist's office every day, and then like, okay, well, what was the final thing that made you leave? And then how did you leave? And how do you feel now that you've left? And, but you want not just the facts, which as a physician, I would think it's like engineering, we're logical, right? But you want them to feel it. You want that languaging they're going to give you when they explain like how painful it was, because you're going to do that in your marketing.
Yeah.
So Mary, can you have a place very clearly defined in the strategic action plan where he can put the questions? just so it's all in one place for now.
Yeah, I like it all in one place.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what you guys, this is going to be written up and it'll be in the RPM, David Brown, their
In the program docs.
strategic program docs. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. And so,
Under
Mary will make sure you know exactly where to write. And then that way you're not keeping things on papers and in pads and other Word documents. It's just all in one place.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you'll document what your program is. You'll document everything in there.
Yeah.
Search on questions. I'm going to have a section that's labeled questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Are we good? Well, we went way over, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I think you're set, and you didn't answer the question of what was valuable to you, David.
I didn't.
No.
I know I started to answer it.
You did.
What you
and then
said
got
so
off.
far was focusing on a plan to follow through on a plan that has rationale, and I can see and picture it and see where you need to go.
Okay.
You got it, Mary. That's good.
Cool.
See, somebody was paying attention.
Well, I thought there was more, but it's good because you have a program name too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
Look how hard you worked in an hour and a half, David.
Whoa,
You've
not
made
hard at all.
huge strides in just an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's good.
Crazy.
That's excellent. Excellent.
Awesome.
So cool. Got a place to go and things to do, people to meet.
That's right. Dang it. Woo-hoo, you dang
Food to
Skippy.
eat. No. Okay, kiddos. Well, thank you very much for
Thank
our
you,
session.
David. It was great. And thank you for being prepared.
Yay.
Yeah.
I think it really helped a lot. So
Yeah.
great job.
Yeah. Thanks. So, well, what do you think the timeline would be to set up the next call with Mary and then with you? Well, then I have calls specifically with you, I guess, also.
So you have 24 sessions total. 6 of them are with me. So,
yeah.
But Mary's going to get you started on this, and we'll decide when it's best to put me back into the realm. And sometimes it might be with Mary. Who knows? We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then where it said, you said that you'd specify the head coach or implementation coach and then accountability coach in there, but there's nobody listed in there. Is there? Do you want?
It's on your plan.
Have another accountability coach also in there, or?
So we have someone other than your head coach do that, so that it's just a little bit separate, so that you're not. I don't know how to explain it really, but so that it's not like, oh, Mom, I'm sorry I didn't do what I was supposed to do, kind of thing.
Take the pressure off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So would Robin or Laura or?
Hold on, I'm gonna look and see who I put
Adam.
on there.
I looked it up.
Oh, it's Adam. Okay.
Is Adam your ex?
Yeah, you always say that. It's just Adam. Adam. He's not Adam, my ex. He's Adam, the salesperson. So,
Adam, the salesman. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is awesome to have a salesman you're talking to.
Well, Stephanie, too. I wouldn't have ever thought he was your ex if you didn't put your name down as Stephanie Hess-Ort.
Well, that's just because I was married to him for 16 years, and that's how people know me. And so they have to be able to find me, too. So that's why it's that way on Facebook.
Right.
And when I created Facebook, I wasn't divorced.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
There you go.
So you could just be Stephanie Hess now if you want, or you could be a hyphenated Hess-Ort.
No, I'm not hyphenated. It's only on my Facebook name, so people can find me. I don't have that name anymore.
Like your daughters, friends, parents, or they're gonna. That's why I kept mine for a long time.
Yeah, I started to, but I changed it, so it's all good though.
All good.
Okay, Adam Ort is my accountability coach.
Yes. And head coach and implementation coach is the same thing.
Yeah. And the accountability is it's not really even a whole lot of anything other than checking in. And there's a very specific outline in your weekly folder that says exactly what's supposed to happen. So you'll copy that template over, you'll make a copy, and you'll fill it in for each of those accountability sessions.
Where is it again?
In your folder, under, you have 4 folders inside your folders. This one's called Weekly Updates.
Okay.
Inside, there's an accountability call worksheet template. So you'll want to make a copy of it and fill it out.
Okay.
That way you always have a blank one if you keep your template.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sure.
That makes sense?
So, and then who initiates them? Me or him or?
No, Mary's going to help set up the first one, and then you guys will take it from there on setting up your calendar.
Okay. But that's a weekly.
And what does that look like to you setting up the calendar? Like, am I going over it like him picking his 10 hours and the other,
Why don't we talk offline, Mary, on that, and then we can set the strategy for everyone, not just for David.
Okay. That sounds fair.
We'll just get it taken care of, David. It's not all that details you need to worry right now.
I don't have to worry my pretty little head about it.
That's right.
Okay. Sounds good. I think we might be done.
We are done. And then you and Mary will get together for your next.
And that what, in 2 weeks or what? I guess it would be. Normally there'd be something every 2 weeks, right? Approximately.
Yeah, ish.
Because of the 24 and 12 months.
Well, her phone just died. That's where she went. But if you can, are you available on Monday? Because if you can get some of this done and get those questions that you think written up, and because she has to go out of town for a little bit, but Monday she's got time available.
Okay.
So
yeah, sure, I can be available.
How about why don't you go into Messenger and then into the one called RPM David, and so you guys can coordinate times.
Okay.
Cool.
Messenger sounds good. Sounds good, Stephanie. Thank you.
Do you know which one I'm talking about? The one that said the group name of it is RPM.
RPM David. Yeah, in Messenger. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to let her know that you will put it in the Messenger.
Okay. Now that's for Monday, for this Monday then we're looking at?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. For my call with her, or what was that?
Yes, for your call with her to go over the questions that you're going to ask speakers, where to find people you're going to talk to, how you're doing on getting a speaking engagement, all that stuff that we talked about.
Okay, gotcha.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Okay,
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you, David.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, take care.
Okay.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.